Hello, my little creatures.
What if, and just bear with me here, right? What if every war, every empire, every suspiciously timed renaissance, plague, plug, technological jump, cultural reset, and worldwide coincidence was actually directed?
Directed by whom? Like God, lizard royalty, the International Time Traveling Banker Council?
Lizard royalty. Why would you say lizard royalty?
Okay, see, is that more crazy than um our whole plagues, sorry, and like technological jumps and blah 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 being directed?
Well, we're getting there, aren't we? So, you asked by who, right? So I say,
I asked by whom?
yeah, you asked by whom, and you gave some random nonsense of options. Well, I say no. Aliens. Like, actually, like, literally. Extraterritorial. Uh, Extraterritorialius?
Terrestrials?
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
That's
Extra
terrestrials.
extraterrestrials with a master script, right? And we just discuss. Like sometimes we have lead roles, sometimes we're background characters, but never the writers.
So what you're implying is that the aliens are just not watching us, but they're like editing history as it happens, like moving things around and just like rewriting chapters.
Yes! What if timeline is less a natural progression, right? And more like a group project between cosmic tricksters and alien committee with a really twisted sense of, I don't know, narrative pacing?
Okay, so what you're saying is that like the aliens like saw the Roman Empire and was like, and they were like, let's spice this up with lead poisoning, or like they saw Da Vinci, like the like Da Vinci painting, and then they said let's whisper helicopter blueprints into his dreams, right? And I cannot stress this enough, but like they invented TikTok to break human attention spans.
Exactly, right? Because this episode is not about are aliens real? We're way past that, right? This episode is what if they've been here the whole time? Guiding, nudging, manipulating,
Manipulating?
whispering ideas into the minds of philosophers, kings, scientists, internet trolls.
Okay, I love how you name all of those people and you find lizard royalty weird.
Excuse me. I Philosophers, kings, scientists are not weird. Who is lizard royalty?
The monarchy of the lizards?
Sure,
Amphibians?
sure.
Are you crazy? But like, are you telling me these aliens are like planting thoughts like cosmic influencers? Like just dropping memes into like ancient Mesopotamia and even building the pyramids while listening to like intergalactic trap music.
I mean, wouldn't that explain the acoustics? I mean, but listen, right? Today we spiral through time, question literally everything, and ask what if aliens have been controlling us for centuries? What if history isn't just manipulated? It's written by something way, way out there.
So gotta buckle in just a bit because you're about to hear theories that are so wild that they would make an Men in Black agent like quit on the spot. And today for you we've got alien philosophers, planting civilization starters, historical resets which were caused by interdimensional mood swings, um ancient world leaders with suspicious visions, and I say that with air quotes on it, like the bunny. Okay, yeah, you got it.
Funny ears.
Yeah, the bunny ears. And UFOs as the executive producers of reality.
And yes, we'll also be talking about alien mind control, cultural engineering, why nobody can agree on how the pyramids were built, and maybe, how all of human history is one big simulation sandbox experiment hosted by advanced beings who just love watching drama.
So, history class is completely cancelled, and you should definitely get ready for ancient aliens, cosmic conspiracies, and a whole lot of what if that just wasn't a coincidence?
So this is Unreal Unsolved. I'm Namrita, lover of alienate. Oh, sorry, alienate. I meant alternative, alternative timelines and intergalactic meddling.
And I'm Nick. And I'm here to question reality and occasionally yell about Atlantis.
Of course you are. Aren't you always?
I just yell.
Aren't you always?
I just yell about everything.
And for people who are listening to us for the first time, Unsolved is a podcast where we dive into the eerie, the unexplained, and the downright bizarre. And then we take it a step further by asking, what if reality isn't what we think? And like always, if you haven't listened to the previous episode, you should, because it kind of
Yeah, so go
ties
over
this one
there.
up,
Go to the previous episode
which is episode
13,
13.
and then come back here after you're done with that. Come back here. Don't just leave us. Don't go get the milk and leave us.
Oh my god, for those who don't know,
I think
that's a
everyone
joke.
knows.
I hope so, but just in case people have been living under the rock, there is this saying that say that fathers, why is it that every kid who has stories about their father abandoning them, it always goes on to like, my dad went to buy milk and never came back.
Yeah, that's like the
So
saying. Like, oh, my dad went to
mom
buy
went to
milk.
buy bread and never came back, and dad went to
Yeah.
buy milk and never
Yep.
came back.
So don't just go buying bread and milk and just never come back over here.
Yeah, don't
So
abandon us.
yeah, if you
You'll have
God
to pay.
knows we have enough.
You'll have to pay
abandonment
for our
issues.
therapy bills then.
Yeah, like we'd be sending them to you.
But anyway, yeah. So this is episode 14.
Go listen to episode 13 and then come back here. I will hunt you down if you don't come back here.
Of course you will.
Yeah,
You guys actually will.
I will.
So let's start where all conspiracies are born, right? Ancient civilization. So you've got your Mesopotamia, your Indus Valley, your Egyptians, your Mayans, your Olmecs, and they all just show up, right? With calendars, written language, astronomy, pyramid math, and plumbing before anyone should have figured out how to build a ladder.
It's like they've got like a cheat code, right? One day they're mud hunting, farming communities. Did I say mud hunting?
Yeah.
I meant to say mud hut. Like
Even
like
asked
the
like mud
houses.
hunting, who's hunting mud?
And just because I said that. Anytime we say something sad or we say something wrong, I think that's gonna happen so much with you.
With me?
Yeah. Anytime you mispronounce something, I'm gonna go like play like the sad violin and it goes. Okay, but anyways, so they're like mud hut like farming communities, and then like the next day they're mapping the stars and aligning entire cities with like celestial events, and we know like human ingenuity. Is that wrong?
No, you're right. It was right.
I think that was wrong. Like we know that's a thing, but the jump is really suspicious, isn't it?
Suspiciously specific, if you ask me, right? Like the fact
You're
that the
trying
Great
so hard not to
Pyramid of
mess up
Gaza
stuff.
is aligned, right? Like almost perfectly with true north.
Did you say Pyramid of Gaza? It's Pyramid of Giza?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry. So the Pyramid of Giza is aligned almost perfectly with the true north and built with such precision that modern engineers still argue about how it was even possible with Bronze Age tools. And some theories say hundreds of years of trial and error. Well, I say no. Maybe it's alien instruction manual.
Emotional damage. The aliens are getting emotional damage by us
Are
revealing
you
all
going
the
to do this
secrets.
throughout now?
Should I?
No, I mean, are you really going to keep doing this?
It's fun.
I don't know. I think it's debatable.
Okay. Let's see how this goes. Let's see if you keep. Let's see if you keep. Yeah. Let's see if you keep messing up, and then let's see how that goes. But like, let's not even forget the Sumerians. Like, these people went from inventing writing to tracking complex like astronomic cycles before. What? What?
I went back and thought for a second who the Sumerians were.
Oh
Sorry.
my god.
Go ahead.
Because I was like, I was just saying it, and then I look at you and you're like nodding, and you're looking off to the side, and like,
I was like, the Sumerians, I know that. Oh, yeah, I know that.
so right, um, and you're tracking complex like astronomic cycles, right? Before most of civilization figured out even like what a wheel was, and in like the records that own like cuneiform tables, like tablets. Sorry, not tables. Yeah, they talk about beings called. Um,
Anunnaki.
I think I always pronounce it wrong, and I'm so scared of pronouncing it now. Like okay, and these they like they came from the sky. They taught them stuff, and just maybe what if they just tinkered with our DNA?
Okay, but pause, right? So we need to talk about the consistent theme across ancient myths. Sky gods, star people, visitors descending in beams of light, beings who come down, teach math, agriculture, astrology, then dip, promising to return.
And it's the same narrative in like different packaging, like from Hopi to the Dagon tribe to Africa.
Isn't that Dogon? I'm glad you do it to yourself too.
Yeah, I realized. Yeah, to that little tribe. to in Africa, right? The ancient Hindu texts describing flying machines called.
Vimanas. You did not even pronounce it for it to be wrong.
Exactly. And like all of this points to outside knowledge being introduced, and not in like a vague divine inspiration kind of way, but like here's like the schematics, like don't mess up on the concrete.
And here's the kicker, the architectural similarities, right? The pyramids in Egypt, the pyramids in Central America, megalithic stone sites in Turkey and Japan. Nobody had Zoom calls, and yet they all built the same structures aligned with the same stars using techniques that we still can't recreate. This is not coincidental, it's collaborative interplanetary project management. Interplanetary.
Little Among Us reference. um but this leads us to the question, like, what if these weren't just visits? Like, what if these civilizations, what if they weren't inspired by aliens, but what if they were designed by aliens?
Like imagine Earth as a test bed, a controlled environment, and these civilizations are beta versions of different cultural experiments. The aliens drop in, seed a few technologies, observe how humans react to metallurgy and crop rotation, then back away and let it evolve.
And like every now and then, when things get a little too chaotic or too peaceful or too boring, they just like reset it. Like they just wipe like civilization with the flood myth, or like, and they press restart and try again with a new religious download, or like war mechanics. And it kind of like Croton, was that an alien
Yeah,
reset?
yeah,
Mysterious little disappearance of everyone.
yeah.
Like you don't know, like the aliens just come down and we're like, hey, Croton.
Or even just like the Gobekli Tepe.
Yeah, go back to tape.
So, you know how in simulation games you give different cities different resources and watch them develop? That's kind of what this looks like. Sumer gets writing, Egypt gets stone masonry, India gets spiritual tech, China gets pyrotechnics.
Pyrotechnics?
Yes, pyrotechnics. South America gets precision astronomy. All these test beds, none of them connected, yet somehow mirroring each other.
So yeah, maybe ancient civilizations weren't primitive, but they were pretty much alien influence prototypes. Like like you'd open Google Docs and you have like 10,000 templates, or like open PowerPoint, and like have
PowerPoint?
shut up, have like at least like 1,000 templates. Like that's what they are, right? They're little download packs, and all the lost knowledge we keep wondering about, like it was never ours to begin with.
So, coming up next, we'll look at what if world religion were part of the same alien control system, right? Not beliefs, but behavioral software.
And right now, you must be thinking, oh no. And guess what? We are going there.
We absolutely are going there. Strap in, guys. Okay, so if we accept that ancient civilization may have been jump started by alien intervention, the next logical or illogical, depending on your tolerance for cosmic chaos, step is this, right? What if religion is the software update? Not divine in the holy sense, but designed. Not to save your not to save your soul, but to stabilize human society.
And we're not just poking the bed here. We're basically giving it an existential crisis. But yeah, let's go, right? So think about it, right? Across nearly every culture, at every point in history, humans receive messages from beings in the sky, whether it's gods, angels, flying chariots, wheels of fire, or voices from clouds, thunderous commandments, commandments. Like the delivery system is always aerial.
Exactly, and these messages, often eerily similar: obey, worship, follow rules, reproduce, fear the sky, build large monuments, await return. So that's not spirituality, that's like programming. And the weirdest part is the hardware is consistent. Humans receive these messages in dreams, visions, trances, or blinding light events, which, let's be honest, sounds like a lot like forced download of a bad cosmic Wi Fi.
So let's talk about examples, right? So in the book of Ezekiel, he literally describes seeing a flying craft, so wheels within wheels and spinning with lights and wings. And this isn't a metaphor. It's an ancient dude trying to describe a UFO using a vocabulary that didn't have like anti-gravity propul, pro- propulsion system in it.
You got there.
Ah, shut up.
So same thing in Hindu mythology. So the Vimanas again are flying palaces with devastating weapons, air-to-air combat, people being taken up into the heavens and returned with knowledge or glowing skin. That's what enlightenment. That's exposure to cosmic radiations and like alien debriefs.
Yeah, I just go up into the sky and I come back with like glowing skin. Like
Yeah.
genuinely, I'd be like, "Am I a vampire?" Like I'm pulling an Edward Cullen over here. Um, but look at like the sudden model structures that like arrive. Whole societies that whole societies built on like thou shalt or and thou shalt not, tied to fear of punishment from the sky. And that's not just social cohesion, that's behavioral regulation. The same way you update an AI system to stop overheating or unstealing your credit card.
And then of course there's the awaiting return cause in nearly every major religion. The
Religion.
gods left, they're coming back. The Messiah will return. The golden age will be restored. Whether it's Jesus, Quetzalcoatl, Kalki, the Mahdi, everyone's waiting for the sky being to come back down and reset everything. Why? Because maybe it's part of the plan.
And it just gets weird when you consider how much conflict has been caused by these downloads. What if war, division, crusades, colonization, control, like all of the bad patches were just intentional features, like built into the software to keep us in a loop of worship, obey, destroy, repeat?
Maybe the goal wasn't harmony. Maybe the goal was data. Maybe these different religions are like behavioral simulations, different experiments to see how beliefs alter society, war, law, loyalty, family structure, identity. So insert doctrine, observe for 2000 years, and you just compare the outcomes.
Because maybe the goal wasn't harmony. Do you realize? You just put like a 70-second pause between wasn't in harmony.
Did I?
Yeah. um, but basically, what you're saying is that just like aliens didn't build our cities, but they just built our entire belief system.
Exactly. And our gods may not be figments of imagination, they might be fragments of memory, misremembered sightings of sky beings, rituals formed around trauma myths built around forced contact events.
Are you saying that like all of the religions are just trauma that's been forced upon us?
Yeah, generational worth of trauma. But did you see that car? It's the second time
Yeah.
it's going down
Actually,
here. Yeah. Why would you come the same way twice?
they're mental. They can't drive. Imagine they just have a radio system that's listening to us as we talk. That's like chimed into the frequency of the mics.
Yeah, sorry guys. We're sitting in our room on the first floor, and I look out and there's just this car that's constantly
Yeah.
roaming. Twice it's gone down the same road,
Um,
and
but
they conveniently go slower close to our house.
she's just
If we
freaked
don't
out.
see you after this, you know why.
Would this episode even reach them?
Oh my god, that's the point, isn't it?
This was like someone hack into this thing and post the episode for us.
Don't hack, please. We are not giving permission.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Sorry. You were saying something, weren't you?
I was saying that everything is just trauma caused.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it would also mean all of these, like, the text, the symbols, the visions, they're not just metaphors, they're basically redacted user manuals. And the real source code is still like locked up in like Vatican sub basements or like buried under Arctic ice.
Which is
soon.
melting.
Yeah.
Oh my
Don't be so
God.
excited.
We had the same thought. No, I was excited because we had the same thought.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, it's melting.
I was like, don't be so excited for
I'm
global
not
warming.
excited it's melting. I'm excited that we had the same thought.
Yeah, because we're aliens. Guys, this is us revealing the
Is
truth.
it Arctic or Antarctic or is it both?
Is that the same guy?
No, not that guy.
Okay.
That's a different cup. Is it the Arctic ice or the Antarctic ice? Or is it both the ice? Because you said Arctic and I thought Antarctic.
Okay, wait. Because Arctic's north, Antarctic's south.
Yeah.
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 Isn't it?
I don't know. You know
The
my
Arctic
geography
Circle.
sucks. You know my geography sucks.
Yeah, it
so don't
does.
ask me.
So I think
I just know North Pole is in North and South Pole is in South.
that's not completely true.
Oh, shucks. Shucks.
Oh, shucks.
I love the UK. Shite.
Yeah. It sounds really fun, like funny to hear. Oh, shite.
Oh, shites.
No, it doesn't. It's singular, not shite. It's just shite.
Okay.
I think we're going a little off.
A little. Oh my god, what if the aliens wrote this so we never complete this episode?
Oh my god, we just get distracted every 2 seconds.
Okay, no. Okay, fine. With the Antarctica, Arctic, wherever. The point is that
It's melting.
And it's melting.
And we'll find stuff. Like disease X is coming for us right now.
Yeah. COVID's already coming for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry if you.
She's sorry if you have COVID and you're listening to us right now.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean it in a bad way. Okay, can we get it back?
Just sing the sad piano playing in the background.
If religions were seeded by non-human intelligence, right, it explains why they all share core similarities, why they create structured hierarchies, and why they center so heavily around submission, ritual, and watching the sky.
Why does everyone want us to be submissive? Like, no, genuinely.
Fine, guys. She's just a teenager who's going through that phase.
No,
okay.
no, like, no,
All
no,
of
no.
This seems so funny.
No, like, what if we take part, right? And we become the next god. We become the gods.
Yeah, well, that's a totally different show then. That's a totally different episode.
Yeah, like
If you
we
wanna
become
take up the
god.
you-
Oh my god, imagine if you and I were gods. What do you think? What's your first course of action?
I think I'll ban work.
I think I would kill all civilization.
What?
So then, okay,
Why would
listen.
you? I would make work from home as the only way to work.
I would kill all civilization and I would come down on Earth and I would do whatever the flip I wanted. Like,
well, guys, vote for me for God, not her. She's just gonna kill you.
I love how you're like, vote for God.
Yeah, she's just gonna kill you. She becomes God.
Listen. Any suicidal people out there watching are like, oh, yay. Okay, so I don't drink enough water, okay?
I can't believe it.
Supposedly, I don't drink enough water. I think I do.
Yeah, she finishes like about say the 200 ml bottle in a day. So I mean that's enough.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's enough.
Sure.
I hate the taste of water, but she has
She
this
hates the
thing.
taste of tasteless water. But I mean I get it. I mean I can taste different water.
Yeah, exactly. So she just brought up this thing that I have to mirror every time she drinks water.
Because I drink a lot of water. I drink like 4 liters in a day.
That's bad because you can die of drinking too much water.
Yeah, but that's not for 4 liters, you idiot.
I think it's with
You should
4 liters.
drink 3 to 4 liters a day. It is. Oh my god, the car's back.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the car's back.
You need to drink like I think that 6-7 liters is like
No.
way over.
Yeah, 6-7
Yeah.
liters is way
I
too
never
much.
drink that much.
Yeah.
Where do you have the time to drink 6-7 liters
I
of
do
water?
not know.
Should be sipping the whole day. For
But
you to drink that much
like
water.
she's like, oh, every time I drink water, you have to mirror me. And then she drank water, and then she did like she symboled 3.
Yeah,
I was
which
like,
means I took
she took 3 like
sips, so now she has to take 3 sips.
yeah. So that's okay, but we're getting so off. Like we're talking
I don't know
about
why you had to
aliens.
bring this in, no?
Because you were like, you took a sip and you're like 3.
I didn't take 1 sip, I took 3 sips and said 3.
Alright, shut up.
Use your head sometimes.
Shut up.
I know you're on vacation, but please.
Shut up. You have to go to work. Ha ha ha. If
I
you
am
weren't so
working.
sick.
You are mean.
You know she made me sick.
I did not make you sick. Who told you to come next to me? Stay away from me.
You want that? I just leave you alone all day.
Yes.
You're such a liar because you're literally like, no, I miss you. Come, please, stay next to me. Let's watch this together. Let's do this together.
Okay, can we move on, please?
We're aliens, guys. This is, oh my god. We should start another like segment where we're like, what if we're the real aliens and versus we're
Why don't
telling
we
you the
just
truth?
do this one properly before we start new things?
Yeah, that's true. So what were you even talking about?
I said submission and you just went on from there.
No, I said what if we're gods, right? So, and then we were talking about how all of them are similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
By them, she means religion.
Yeah, religion and gods and how all of their stories are similar, right? And every single one of them involves the return of these higher beings and people who have like utmost knowledge and blah blah blah, right? You've got like the apocalypse, you've got judgment, you've got the arrival of beings from above to correct like all the mess down here. And like, what if that's just not prophecy, but it's more like scheduling?
And I'm not saying we're all in an alien social experiment. Wait, no, I am, I guess.
Yeah,
I
you
am
are.
saying
You
that,
really are.
aren't I? I mean, if that's true, then history isn't random. It's curated. And religion, that's like the user interface they give us so we wouldn't panic.
And now that I'm thinking about the car, what if the car actually that keeps going over the car actually has aliens and they're trying to stop us? That's why it's constantly distracting us every time it takes a round.
Sure.
So it's stopping us from revealing the truth.
Sure.
But like, coming up next, we've got like, what if like world leaders have always been in contact with aliens, and what if human history has been shaped by who answered the call?
Oh yeah, we're talking about ancient kings, divine, right? Secret pacts, and why the weirdest emperors always seemed a little too confident.
So I think it's time to spiral. How about you?
Spiral away.
Ooh. Guys,
So now we've
guys,
laid
just
the
say
groundwork.
say hi to Paul.
Why does a toy dog meow? Okay, so we've laid the groundwork. Ancient civilization may have been kickstarted by extraterrestrials, and religions could be very well behavioral control systems installed by advanced beings. But now we get to the truly elite level of this conspiracy, right? Elite. What if our rulers, past and present, have been in contact this whole time?
Like, when we say contact, we mean literal contact. Like kings and emperors, like waking up in stargates, having meetings with glowing entities who just hand them divine authority in exchange for cooperation. And let's be like so real. The divine right of kings has always been suspicious.
Exactly, and the idea that someone is born with the unquestionable right to rule because the god said so? That's not religion, that's galactic NDA.
It's literally nepotism.
And what if the pharaohs weren't just pretending to be gods? What if they were licensed intermediaries ruling on behalf of aliens overseas?
So let's like zoom into Egypt again, right? The pharaohs said they were descendants from Ra, a sun god who rode across the sky in a solar boat, right? What if that wasn't just mythology, but a coded account of repeated sky ship visitations?
And the afterlife they prepared for? Not a spirit realm, but a journey to the stars. That's why the pyramids were built with star alignments, because maybe they weren't just tombs, they were launch pads.
So let's go global, right? So the Mayans had kings who communicated with sky serpents and sacrificed blood to just casually open portals, right? And in China, you've got the mandate of heaven, supposedly like granted emperors, emperors, like, emperors, emperor. What is it?
Emperors, yeah.
Oh, this supposedly granted them authority, right? But this could be revoked from like celestial forces. And in some Sumer, kingship was said to have descended from the heavens, literally.
Even
What?
in Europe, medieval
What?
monarchs claim to be chosen by God, right? Why the obsession with divine validation? Because maybe it was part of the deal. Maybe access to alien knowledge came with a catch. You can rule, but only if you enforce control, suppress awareness, and make sure the species don't ask too many questions.
And then there's a whole bloodline angle, right? Why were royal families so obsessed with keeping their bloodlines pure? Why literally so much like inbreeding and controlled marriage across dynasties, right? What if it wasn't just about power? What if certain genetic markers made people more compatible with alien influence?
And that would explain the recurring visions, the divine madness, the rulers who claim to talk to angels or demons or receive military advice in dreams. They weren't hallucinating, they were syncing with non human intelligence.
And it's not just ancient rulers, modern world leaders, it's the same game basically. Do you really think it's a coincidence that Reagan saw UFOs and that Churchill ordered UFO silence and Gorbachev publicly admitted that he believed in extraterrestrials?
And what about Eisenhower's rumored meetings with aliens at Edward Air Force Base in 1954? There's a whole theory that he signed a deal, tech exchange in return for limited human abductions, which sounds insane until you realize right after that you suddenly got transistors, fiber optics, night vision, and the integrated circuit in quick succession.
And the question is like, if this is true, what exactly are these rulers protecting? Is it humanity's ignorance or is it the aliens' anonymity?
Maybe both. Because if humanity realizes it's not at the top of intelligence hierarchy, global systems collapse, religions unravel, nations lose authority, and suddenly the people in power become middle management.
Which is why maybe the people who rise to the top aren't just lucky, they're selected. They're the ones who basically play by the rules, keep secrets, and continue maintaining the illusion.
And if that's the case, then elections, bloodlines, military coups, they're just different methods of choosing the next handler, the next Earth liaison.
If that's the truth, then maybe some of the most catastrophic historical events weren't even accidents, they were like cosmic experiments.
So we look at what if major historical turning points, right? Plagues,
Plagues.
wars, revolutions weren't just human decisions, but kind of like an alien course correction.
So we're doing like galactic quality control now?
Absolutely. Let's get into it. When human beings get too unpredictable, too peaceful, too innovative, and too fast or too rebellious too early, right? The answer is course correction. But not by us.
Not by us.
By them.
By them. So I guess this is where it gets truly terrifying, because what if our entire historical timeline?
Why are you laughing? Can you
Because you
talk?
just started dancing.
Sorry.
What if our
A song started playing in my head.
what if our entire like historical timeline is less like a series of natural events, but more like interventions? Like every time we start to drift off that intended narrative, they step in and like realign it.
Like hitting a cosmic reset button, right? Think about the Library of Alexandria. Thousands of years of knowledge gone in a fire. We call it tragedy. But what if it was intentional erasure?
Right? Like, why do we keep having these like moments of mass amnesia moments in history? Lost cities, forgotten tech, whole cultures vanishing. Not by accident, but as if someone just deleted those folders.
And don't even get me started on plagues. The Black Death,
Flags?
the Black Death wiped out half of Europe. And that's just not biology. That's like mass leveling mechanism. Human population growing too fast, social systems destabilizing. Hit the button, roll out the reset.
Is that how COVID happened basically? Like, oh wait, that makes sense because human population was growing
Yeah,
really fast and then
yeah,
COVID hit
yeah,
and then human population was more stable.
yeah.
Not saying that it wasn't good, but it helped resources be allocated better.
And we had to deal with lesser people in the world.
But I'm just thinking, if someone has lost someone to COVID, we can't be mean.
Yeah, and I mean, people, I'm not talking about the near dear ones. No one wants to do near dear ones.
Yeah,
Like, can you imagine you have to now deal with less than, what is our population now? I don't know.
like 8.6 billion.
Yeah. And it was,
And before COVID, yeah, we were nearing 8 billion before COVID.
oh, we still have new people then.
Yeah, we do. So
Oh,
it
yeah, of
was,
course, because that's how it works.
yeah, so it was going to, I think it was around, when did we hit 8 billion?
I have no idea.
Let's see what the population is right now. I just love knowing what the population is.
Can you imagine there's so many people in the world?
Yeah, I don't think we have enough land.
Oh, we
Okay,
do. We have.
oh, I was way ahead. In 2023, the world population was 8.062 billion.
Uh huh.
So I was wrong. It is not 8.6 billion. It is current in. Okay, there's a live one. Okay, let's look at the live one. Okay, birth today 16377888991. It's constantly increasing. Deaths today is 77,190 ish.
Oh my god.
And population growth today is 86,630. Okay, it's 640 something now.
What's our population? Total population.
It's not showing me that. Okay, population currently is about 2025 8.231, so 8.2 billion about.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, there's like half the amount of deaths than there is birth.
Obviously, isn't there? Because they say a child is born every
I thought it was a
10
child.
seconds.
I thought it was every. I thought they were equal. Like a person dies, a person's born. A person's died, a person's born.
I don't think it's that equal.
It's half. I think for every for two babies born, there's one death.
Yeah.
About.
But I think they say like every 10 seconds there's a kid born.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
10 seconds or a minute? No, I think it's 10 seconds.
Every 10 seconds, a new child.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
That is crazy.
That means there's literally bunch of mothers in operation theaters right now.
Yeah. And there are a bunch of people just, their funeral stuff is getting ready.
I love how you go there. I'm just focusing on the fact that we're having
like
kids.
a dude just died of heart attack right
My
now.
god. Okay.
Right, sorry. So, talking about like these mass world events, right? We've got World War I and II, right? So what if the goal wasn't just conflict? Maybe it was acceleration. You get nukes, rockets, satellites, jet engines, code breaking computers, and all of this just under 40 years.
And that's not progress. That's like uploading a software patch under stress conditions. And then Cold War. Constant threat, mass surveillance, psychological tension. Maybe not just geopolitics, maybe an alien driven test in global behavioral containment.
And the revolutions, right? You've got the French Revolution, American, you've got the Russian. All of them just come up with radical ideas, liberty, equality, rebellion, but every time we end up with a different form of centralized control. And what if that's just not human error, but what if it's a system constraint, right? A limit they program to prevent actual freedom.
Because actual freedom might be dangerous to the experiment. Like, what if aliens are monitoring not just our culture, but the capacity to organize without them? And every time we start to glimpse the big picture, boom, collapse, new regime, reset back to obedient mode.
So you're saying that history is being curated, that our wars, our inventions, our collapses, you're saying they're just all part of a larger simulation arc?
Exactly, like it's not linear, it's modular. We move forward only in the ways that maintain the structure. Everything else, deleted, suppressed, forgotten. Atlantis, too advanced, gone. Nikola Tesla's wireless energy plan, too liberating, suppressed. Societies that worship nature, feminine energy, decentralized living, erased from the curriculum.
Okay, about Atlantis, man, I love Atlantis. Don't you just think that would be so cool though? Like, what if, oh my god, in Atlantis, what if humans actually evolved? Like, what if there are people living in Atlantis right now,
Uh-huh.
right? And what if humans actually evolved to be able to live underwater?
Amazing, wouldn't it be?
I know. And we just don't know it because the aliens don't want us to realize that we have that amount of power,
Yeah.
right? And it also explains like the timing of events too. Like, why does everything always happen right before a major breakthrough? Like, it's as if there's a hand above us saying like, too soon, just dial it back.
Or worse, like too aware, distract them. Celebrity scandal, viral meme, global drama. Because what if modern distraction culture is just the updated version of historical resets?
And if all of this is true, and if they've just been adjusting our path for centuries, then what if what we call process isn't growth, it's
You mean
containment?
process or progress?
Progress.
Yeah, because I was like,
Process and growth.
progress is
In
growth.
which
Yeah.
universe are they similar? That what if what we call progress is not actually growth, but it's containment? And they're not guiding us towards enlightenment, but they're keeping us inside the box.
Because maybe a controlled evolution is their greatest threat, right? What happens if humans stop needing gods, rulers, or systems and start asking the right questions?
Like, talking about aliens trying to keep us in a box, right?
Yeah,
Do you think that's why the statement think outside the box was created?
could be.
The few people who actually, I guess, rebelled against
Yeah,
the aliens' plans
yeah. And
just tried to spread this thing.
and maybe that's why as humans we keep telling each other to think outside the box.
Exactly, we're,
Because someone figured it out.
yeah, and we're just trying, subconsciously, we're trying to break out of this control that we're in, right?
Could be.
Because we're always seeking for freedom, we're always seeking for new things.
Yeah.
But coming up next, right? What if the aliens, what if they're losing control? And glitches in reality are the sign that we're breaking the system.
Oh yeah, like Mandela effects, reality shifts, deja vu. Basically, let's talk about what if the simulation is breaking. So we've been led, right? And we've been ruled, and we've spoken about resetting and how history has been edited, right? But what if we're not just waking up, but kind of messing up the simulation by noticing these themes?
Because something's off, right? People feel it. It's just, it's not just paranoia, it's the Mandela effect, the ultimate glitch in the matrix. We're talking Bedestein Bez versus Bedestein. Freeze Breeze with one E. Nelson Mandela dying in prison when he didn't. People remembering one thing, but reality itself has changed.
And these aren't memory problems. These are like dimensional drift, a server sync issue. Like we're slipping between slightly different timelines because something is destabilizing the core code.
And it's accelerating. People are seeing double moons, hearing frequencies that no one else can, waking up with shared dreams, and whole crowds remembering the same wrong detail. That's not delusion, that's cross echoes from a fragmented timeline.
And the cracks are showing, like in deja vu, those micro glitches when your brain says, wait, I've been here before. And what if that's not a trick of memory? What if that's your consciousness briefly syncing with another version of you, another branch of the same control civilization?
And what if the more we notice, the weaker the system?
Sorry, simulation. I said civilization.
Oh my god. And what if when like, the more we notice like all of these weird glitches, the weaker the system itself becomes. Like, think about it. The moment people begin questioning official like narratives or on a massive scale through the internet, through decentralized network, glitches just start to scale.
Yeah, and maybe that's why the chaos feels constant now, right? Mass confusion, overlaps, people saying the world doesn't feel real anymore. It's not anxiety, it's instability.
I'm just imagining if there's ever a psychologist listening to our podcast, they're just gonna be like, "Hey, can we call you in for like a consultation? Because you guys seem crazy.
Yeah, like you guys seem from out of here.
I don't think your brains are okay.
Yeah.
Well, can we run a study on your brain? Like, but like, what if aliens? Maybe the aliens, right? The architects, the watchers, whoever they are, right? What if they can't patch the system like fast enough? Like, their handlers in powers are like flailing, and governments are just confused, and algorithms are overcorrecting because we weren't supposed to notice this much this quickly.
And they wanted slow evolution, predictable behavior. But then came quantum physics, AI, spiritual awakenings, and people eating mushrooms and decoding the nature of reality from their couches. They've quite broken the barrier.
So now we're seeing the overlap, things appearing where they shouldn't, time speeding up, slowing down, people vanishing from memory, like NPCs getting unrendered.
And what if the Mandala effect is just a system patch that didn't take cleanly? Like they tried to edit something, but we remember the original file.
The bigger question is, what what happens if the whole structure collapses, right? What if we all wake up just at once, and does the simulation shut down? Like, do we get absorbed into the source code, and do the aliens just possibly just reboot the entire planet?
Or, and this is my favorite theory, we've already broken it. And the reason everything feels so strange lately is because there's the post glitch Earth. We are in the corrupted save file, and no one, not us, not them, knows what comes next.
So, I mean, as we go on, we're gonna just start questioning like, what if Earth was never meant to last, right? And what if this whole reality is just a temporary interface between species?
So here's one of the last questions, right? What if Earth itself isn't real? Not in the sense that it's fake, but in the sense that it's not permanent. It's like a temporary interface, a training simulation, a containment field for emerging consciousness.
So what you're saying is that Earth is basically a lobby, like a cosmic waiting room before being uploaded, extracted, or graded into something else.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? The weirdness of the human experience, the suffering, the growth, the mystery, the endless questions with no answer. It's all experimental coding. And what if this reality isn't a sandbox server and we're not the players? We're the characters learning to become players.
That would explain why we start with like total amnesia, and why we basically spend our entire lives searching for meaning, and why some people through medication, psychedelics, or just random accident existential explosions start remembering things that they were never taught?
Because they're remembering the outside, the pre earth consciousness, the why behind the what. But here's the terrifying part, right? We were never supposed to remember.
Because if we do, we exit. We reach the layer above this one, and the simulation loses power, right? And that's what ancient mystics called enlightenment. What simulation theorists basically called rebooting. What conspiracy, you know, people call what what conspiracy people call the exit theory. And we're just the second we start doubting everything that's going on, it's the time that we kind of just lose everything that we know, because everything we know is based on a lie. Maybe, possibly.
So the exit theory. Sorry. So the exit theory says that once enough people realize this reality is an interface, it collapses. The stars dim, the system goes offline, and we return to whatever we were before we were human.
And maybe that's why alien sightings are increasing. Not because they're invading, but because they're watching us hit the boundary. And the system is glitching because our collective awareness is reaching critical mass.
I mean, everything feels fast now, right? Time is weird, events are folding into each other, new rules are showing up, and old ones don't make sense anymore. They're not chaos. That's not chaos, that's like deconstruction.
Yeah, like have you noticed it's June.
Yeah, it is June.
It's June. Do you remember what the first thing you did in 2025 was? Do you remember how this year started? Because I don't. I feel like the things I did last week.
We're like way back.
Yeah, like I can't even remember what I did today morning. Or
Yeah.
maybe that's just me thing.
Maybe it's me, you think.
And like, what if maybe the Earth wasn't even meant to last this long?
Meant to suppose.
Shut up. And it wasn't supposed to last until not until the sun dies, or not until we reach the stars, but until we figured out it wasn't real.
And when we do, maybe we wake up somewhere else. Maybe we become something else. Maybe we realize we were the architects all along.
So were you all along? Um. So again, as we spiral into the void, if aliens have been controlling us for centuries, what if there's versions of us who made it out?
Exactly, right? So if Earth was a test, what does the next level kind of look like? Okay, let's like take a deep breath. God knows I need it. Because yeah. Because we've been
You
blaming
can just hear like
because we've been blaming the aliens for everything, right? The manipulation, the interference, the simulation, the resets.
if any aliens are listening to us right now, we're not blaming you for anything.
But what if the final twist isn't that they're controlling us? It's that we are them.
Are we just foreshadowing into what we said before? Were we
And
foreshadowing?
Earth, this whole reality, is where we send after is where we are sent after something went very, very wrong.
So are we Lucifer? Like we're just punished to be on Earth,
Yeah.
and that's why heaven is like we have to redeem ourselves before we reach heaven.
Yeah.
Cool. Not really, because you're banished over here, right? So this is the prison planet theory, right? And it's sort of worse than any kind of invasion, alien invasion, because what if humanity isn't a primitive species waiting for contact? What if we're fallen entities who already had contact, already had power, and now we're in here in these bodies because we got locked out of the bigger system?
Locked out, or maybe we locked ourselves in? Because some theories say Earth is a rehabilitation server for consciousness, a place where souls are recycled, memory wiped, emotionally challenged, and spirituality sanded down over years, maybe thousands of lifetime until we graduate back to a higher state.
Earth being a rehab center so real. Like in our other little planet or wherever we're actually from, we all just got really like high and like
Yeah,
drugged, and that's why we
yeah,
were sent here to just rehab.
rehab, yeah.
Yeah, and and this would kind of explain why we're born with no memory of where we came from, and why every spiritual tradition says that we have to remember something and literally emphasize on it, right?
Yeah.
Why mystics talk about the veil, about awakening, about breaking cycles? Because maybe the cycle is intentional and isn't forced.
And now let's talk about that cycle, right? Reincarnation. Almost every ancient culture believed in it. Egyptians, Hindus, Gnostics, Druids, Buddhists. But it's not just about the karma, it's about the containment. What if we're not reincarnating our growth, but because we what if we're not reincarnating for growth,
Mm-hmm.
but because we can't get out?
So it's just basically a loop, right? Birth, pain, confusion, death, repeat.
That does sound like life.
Yeah, just birth, pain, confusion, death,
Birth again.
and then we start with birth. And then you go through pain, then confusion, then death, and then you start again, you go birth.
Okay, we got it.
Yeah, I think let's hope so. And basically in between just a false light, spiritual amnesia field, cosmic tech barrier that convinces you to go back because you have more lessons to learn. And that's just so fun, isn't it? Right? And what if the lesson's just how to escape, like Prison Break, genuinely?
And now we're thinking back into alien abductions, right? But um not as experiments, but maybe like as checkups, maintenance on the prisoners, right? Monitoring emotional progress, maybe even harvesting energy created by trauma and conflict.
And that's the loose theory, right? That human suffering creates an energetic byproduct harvested by higher beings. And which is so much worse than aliens are studying us, because it means we're being farmed, and all of the traumatic things we go through in our lives is just so great because it's just making sure we escape, I guess.
And you know how everyone feels like they have a purpose but can't quite figure it out?
Yeah.
What if it's not intuition? What if it's like memory bleed? A glitch in the amnesia system?
Don't even start with like a little memory bleed. Because whenever someone says memory bleed, all I can think about is like your brain, yeah, your brain bleeding out. And that's what it is, maybe. Like all of your memories are just coming out as blood. That's so weird to think about.
So that's not like you're not discovering your purpose, you're quite remembering it.
And what if this is happening collectively, right? So, like, all the weird spikes in spiritual awakening, like people leaving their jobs, questioning systems, feeling reality crack around the edges.
That's like mass reawakening. Too many of us are remembering too fast, which means that the containment system, earth, time, ego, identity, is collapsing. And they can't keep the whale up, so the soul farm is literally leaking.
And this also explains why some people have past life memories that just don't make sense, like lives on other planets, lives as beings of light or energy architects. They're not making up; they're just kind of bleeding through. But now that we're thinking about it, what do you think your job would be if you were an alien? Because
I don't know, bro. I can't think of it.
yeah, I'd be just a sniper.
So, what if the aliens we've been talking about all episode, the ones interfering, watching, tweaking, what if they're just the ones who got out? Or worse, the ones who trapped us here in the first place?
And that would mean disclosure isn't about aliens showing themselves, but it's about us recognizing ourselves in the mirror.
And maybe that's why it feels like everything is unraveling now. Because it is, right? The prison is glitching, the reincarnation cycle is breaking, the self is waking up.
And the final question becomes, If you are the alien, if you're the architect, the prisoner, and the key, what will you do when you remember all of it?
Maybe Earth was never the beginning, right? It's the lock screen, and some of us are already cracking the passcode.
Coming up next, no, no, there is no next. Sorry, like to disappoint, I guess. But that's the end of the spiral, right? Just the loop just bent on itself again. You're going through pain right now.
So let's close this out before basically time folds again.
Yeah. So if you're sitting there just wondering what's real and what's not, that's the point. That's basically your glitch. The moment you question the code is the moment the code starts to lose its grip.
And reality isn't stable, it's responsive. And every time you ask, what if, you're opening another crack in the illusion.
So here's your invitation. Keep spiraling, keep noticing, keep asking why pyramids look like power plants and why your memories feel like they're half downloaded. Because maybe, just maybe, for once you're the one waking up.
And if that's true, then this wasn't just a podcast episode. This was a transmission, a signal from outside the firewall, a reminder that nothing is what it seems and everything is connected.
That was a Wizards of Waverly Place. Everything is not what it seems.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they were warning us.
Yeah, they were.
And next time on Unreal Unsolved, we go even deeper. Because if the system is breaking down, what comes after?
Until then, people, trust the spiral and please question the timeline. And remember, just remember, the weirdest part of the story might just be you. Stay
Stay
unreal.
unreal.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye
Bye.
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 Bye.